very nice to meet you all. My name is Jeff Bowen. I have an award-winning organic vineyard near to Exeter in Devon. And I'm looking for £60,000 for 20% of my new vineyard experience business, Pebblebed Partner Vineyards. People have the dream of having their own vineyard.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is gonna be really hard for me to not have the tripod in the frame. Sorry. I spent a bunch of time trying to like find just the right zoom level, and then I remembered, wait, I have to record the fucking screen intro. Yeah, and so what's going on, guys? I'm gonna do a box whites review. These are okay, these are not technically box whites, but I'm gonna pretend that they are. These are box glazed greens. So as you can see, they're green. Oh my god, this is the worst. Yeah, so these are box glazed greens. They're essentially box whites with just like a slight modification and a different color. They're like a special edition that I think Novelties or Kailh, probably Kailh because Kailh's Chinese, did a couple of years ago as like a special Chinese run of switches, Chinese style switches. That is to say that they were all, you know, glazed green, like royal yellow, purple and stuff, like all these like regal Chinese colors and themes and stuff. I think it was part of like a Chinese New Year thing or something, but that was like a limited run. And I ended up getting these off some guy on Mech Market, like probably a year or two later. He said that they were, quote, better than box jades, and I thought that meant that they would be even more tactile, you know, because like green and jade are similar colors, but no, they're actually less tactile. But that is actually what I think makes them good. You know, as you guys may know, I don't love insanely tactile switches. Like Glorious Pandas and Boba switches are probably the upper limit of what I prefer to type on, because I like to type fast, and it's harder to type fast on really, really tactile switches. But so yeah, these are like a really like kind of light and nicely balanced weight, a light click, light tactility. They feel like it's almost like they're linear. They feel nearly linear in a lot of ways, but of course, clicky, very clicky. It's got the patented double click, so there's one click down, one click up. Click is very subtle. The operation of the switch is very smooth. You don't really notice the smoothness, obviously, because it's a clicky switch, but you don't feel any scratchiness either, which is really all that you need to achieve with this kind of a switch. It's like a smooth click, like not just it's a smooth switch, but the actual, like, it's just like a smooth feeling. It's a very fluid. Typing on these is very fluid. Let me pull up something that I can spam keys on. This is, yeah, I'm doing this like it's nothing. This takes no effort. So yeah, feel-wise and weight-wise, ironically, these actually kind of feel like buckling springs on the Model F, which are like also very like light and kind of just a nice mid-weight crispy click rather than a super heavy rounded bump. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit the Model F and this thing on the table. Well, you know what? I could try just for fun. This thing's really heavy. I'll just hold it. So these are actually a little bit more tactile, I would say, than these. It could be because these have Syracuse on them, and that could be like hindering it, but these are ever so slightly more clicky, but the weight is actually very similar. I think the stronger click makes the Model F feel like it has a like a higher weight, but I think it's just the click requires more force. But let's see. I mean, yeah, sound-wise, they're very different sounding from the Model F, obviously. I mean, some people might even say that this sounds better than the Model F. That is a very valid opinion to have if you have it. You know, this has obviously this has Syracuse on it because Syracuse only worked with box switches for me. The Syracuse that I have, and I just have chosen to accept that and live and continue living. So, you know, these actually, the Syracuse give this like a, you can hear the bottom out. The bottom out is really solid thanks to the thick keycaps. And I think it's pretty nice. It's a little bit quieter than Jade's, box Jade's only a little bit, but a little bit quieter. And it's a little bit more of a fluid typing experience, like I said. So I'd say overall these are actually a little bit more pleasant to use as like a daily, you know, long hours work type switch if you're in an environment where it doesn't matter if you make noise, which I am because I work from home now. Yeah, they feel slightly less crisp than the Model F, you know, which is not really a good or a bad thing for either. It's just kind of, they're just different. I mean, the design of the switch is obviously very, very different than of the two switches. So it's basically like there's no point in comparing them. But they do feel vaguely similar on the finger. But, you know, yeah, having less tactility lets you type faster, at least it lets me type faster and more fluidly. You know, I mean, I can get used to really, really like gnarly tactile springs, but it always feels like I'm fighting against the switches a little bit, or tactile switches rather. It always feels like I'm fighting against that, the force while I'm typing, which I don't love. So yeah, these are not box whites, they're box glazed greens. From what I can tell, the two switches are identical aside from the color. And the only other difference is the bottom out weight. The bottom out weight is 10 grams less on the greens, 10 grams less than the whites. I forget what the exact number is. It's like 50 and 40 or maybe 40 and 30. But the actuation force and the clicky force, if those are even two separate forces, those are the same. And they have the same like actuation point distance and everything. I don't have like a set of box whites, but I do have a single one that I got from a switch tester a few years ago. I've done like a side-by-side comparison to the two, and they feel basically the same. I guess the box white feels like a tiny bit heavier because of the bottom out, but I mean, the clicky force and the actuation and everything, that's the same. You know, at the top of the key press, so that's mostly what you feel. Yeah, they're basically identical. You don't really feel the small difference. I think it could. I might have noticed a small difference in sound, but that could have just been due to the different placement on the keyboard. I don't frankly know where that one switch is. I have a box of keyboard parts with like a bunch of random loose switches that don't go with anything, and I don't know where that box is. So, yeah, we can't, sorry. But I don't know if you can even get glazed greens anymore, really. You'd have to find them used, and so basically you would be able, but you can get box whites. You know, but they're basically the same. They're good. I like them. They're very fluid to type on. And I mean, they're loud, but you know, whatever. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to keep this one relatively short. Don't need to have every video go 45 minutes. I mean, is there anything else to... Yeah, no, I think that's about it. The switches are good. They're not so light that you know, actuate them just by putting your fingers on them, but they are light enough that all you really have to do is just give it just the bare, ever so slightliest of a press, and it goes down very easy. And maybe this has to do with the slightly lighter bottom out weight, but once you break that click, it just it goes down. Let's see. I have a box jade. This is a box jade. That's a box white/green. I'm trying to like... Okay. I'm pressing these with the same amount of force. But it sounds like I'm like mashing the fuck out of this one. It sounds like I'm doing this when I'm really just, you know. And then this is a zeal clicky. The zeal clickies don't fit very well with Syracuse, so I couldn't use them, but this key happened to fit the win key, so, you know, you press the win button and then it lights up so you know you're in win mode. I'll stop saying that every time I press the win key. And honestly, this sounds kind of weird, the zeal clicky. At least in this exact setup and in this exact spot on the keyboard, it sounds a little weird, if I'm being honest. That kind of weird, like, plasticky tink that the zeal clickies have, which the click is generated by tink, literally like just going tink against the plastic side of the case, of the switch case. So that's literally like why it sounds like that. Yeah, it's weird. It has like a tone to it. But I actually haven't used these switches in a while. I gotta put them back in on board. But, you know, and then it's hard, like, just having one switch like this, it doesn't feel that tactile, you know. But, in fact, it feels about on par with the jade if we're just doing one. But, you know, this feels like is noticeably less tactile, the box whites. And, you know, you're not... This is like one of your strongest fingers. This is like your second strongest, arguably your strongest finger, because it has like the most, you know, this is weird. You're not very good at doing that. So this is like, you can do this. You could do, I think, a lot of weight with this finger, a lot more weight than you would probably imagine. It's these fingers that, you probably noticed, I don't even use my pinkies when I type, but it's these fingers, and these like kind of at the weird angles that you're reaching, and you're just kind of, that's when that's when the super high tactility starts to come into play and you start to feel it, and it might give you finger pain depending on how exactly you use your keyboard and your fingers, really. But I think a video I've been meaning to do is like just kind of talking about typing. You know, there's a lot of speed typing tutorials are done by people who are not into keyboards, you know, and a lot of keyboard people are into typing, but they don't really talk about typing. It's just kind of like, well, it's a keyboard, of course you type. But I actually have spent a lot of time doing monkey type and typing, and I've actually put a lot of thought into the mechanics of typing fast, and specifically doing typing tests fast. Because I over the last like 2-3 years, I've increased my typing speed from like 50 to, you know, 150. And you don't, I don't know, I don't think you can do that unless you're actually like really thinking about the actual, you know, the motions and the mechanics of everything you're doing. Which, if you're trying to improve something, that's what you do. And if you have all these, you know, all this knowledge, you might want to call it, maybe you want to share it with people, you know. So mechanical keyboards, speed typing, a mechanical keyboard enthusiast's perspective is probably an upcoming video. I won't put it here because that's just going to make this go long. Okay, I think this, let me do a sound test. And then that will be the end of the box white review. And then I have some other like announcements and stuff regarding the channel and some other stuff I got not related to keyboards, which you can stick around to listen to if you want. All right, let me load up monkey type. And then okay, I do have a couple of monkey type dailies to turn in. That'll be, I don't know, you guys even like that? It seems kind of fun. I kind of like it. Okay. Fuck. Wait, this is a 15. Let me do a 60. I have to type around the tripod. It's kind of hard. I have to type and look around the tripod. Okay, that was pretty bad. I forgot to do this. I'll do a couple more and I'll do it. That was a, there we go. That was a 114, 134 raw, on a 60. I'll do screen view for this one. Oh, jeez. Hang on, there, yeah, okay. Wait. Oh, this is so hard, oh my god. Okay, let's do a 15. Okay, and now... Damn it. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, dude. Okay. Hang on. I got this. Nice and easy. Oh. Okay, last one. Oh man, I was freezing up like that guy from Dragon's Den. Alright, so I think that wraps it for the box white / glazed green. good switches. Probably, you know, I'm not going to be using them all the time, but they are nice. I'll probably keep them in the Syracuse board for a while since, I mean, you guys know. But I do think I will be getting some box inks pretty soon. And, you know, do those. Those will probably sound pretty good with the Syracuse. I fucking hope. I mean, Jesus Christ. And I don't know. Are there any other good box switches? Box royals? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like box royals aren't even, like, no one gives a fuck about box royals. Alright, but okay. So that's the end of keyboard the video. What else was I gonna fucking... So, yeah, I hope you guys like the little, like, intros and funny videos I like to post. Pretty much just, like, throughout the week, if I ever think of something funny, I'll just probably end up putting it in a video. Or if I see something funny on YouTube or, you know, whatever. I was going to make that Metallica thing be the intro for this video, but that ended up going for, like, 4 minutes. So I'll just upload that separately. But... So, I guess, you probably already noticed this on the side, but I got a new knife. This thing is so retarded. It's literally one keyboard long. This is a normal size knife for reference. This, you know, is a little small for my hand, but this, I mean, Jesus, I'm afraid to, like, hit something when I open it. It's, that much comes, I have a pretty big hand, you know, and that much comes out at the end. I think this is a 5.4 or a 5.5 inch blade, yeah, but it's a flipper, and it flips really well. It's a Kershaw. This is like, if you guys know knives, this is very reminiscent of the Cold Steel Espada, which is like a classic retardedly big knife. It has a similar blade shape, but it has the Cold Steel triad lock, which is like a back lock where you have to press down on a little thing here, and then basically you have to do two-handed close. The triad lock is a very strong lock, but it's like not fun to play with. It's only for serious use. This is like, whoo! Kershaw makes pretty good flippers, and yeah, this is I mean, just look how small the flipper tab is, and it's still just like, I mean, it's not the easiest flipper tab to press just because it's so big and heavy, but it swings out and it drops shut. It's like a true Reddit knife. It drops shut better than this knife, this is a zero tolerance, which is essentially the high-end brand of Kershaw. And I mean, zero tolerance knives, most of them are bigger than this one. This is a fairly small ZT, but dropping shut is actually more about the blade size and the weight of the blade, more so than how smooth it is. This is a very kind of a smaller and light blade, so it just kind of snaps out, and then you have to slowly close it. I also need to lubricate this. I haven't cleaned or lubed any of my knives in years now. But this thing's great. I fucking love it. It actually fits in my pocket, which is the craziest thing. Not very well, but it does. So this is D2 steel for the blade and probably for the handle. It might just be some cheap stainless on the handle. I don't know what this material is. It's definitely not real copper or bronze or whatever, but it's probably just aluminum, anodized aluminum. But this thing is pretty, and then this is G10, which is like a laminate material. Yeah, good knife. I don't really like, my sister gave me an Amazon gift card for my birthday, and I didn't know what to get with it, so I just bought that knife. And I was like, hey, I showed her a picture. I was like, hey, thanks for the gift card. I got this knife with it. She's like, what the hell do you do with that? And I was like, oh, I don't actually cut stuff with my knives anymore. And she's like, well, why do you collect knives? And I was like, what? How dare you even ask that? I mean, I used to work at Home Depot, and I did use my knives a lot there. And then, you know, I work for a plant company right now. I do e-commerce stuff for them, so I don't work physically with the plants. But for a while, I was packing plant orders as well that we would ship, and I used the knives a little bit for that. But that was like dirt. There's dirt everywhere, and you know, you don't want to use a nice knife in that setting. That's just rude, you know. But I mean, I don't know, knives. I got a lot of knives, but I kind of stopped buying knives a few years ago when I got into keyboards. And pretty much the same reason that I kind of got out of knives is why I got out of. I'm kind of hesitant to buy more keyboards, is because to get one that's better would cost so much, and they take so long to be made, that it's just not worth it, you know. I'd rather just keep the ones I have and just end it and move on to something else. But so I guess getting back to keyboards, I mean, yeah, I don't have a ton of new keyboard stuff coming in, but I will definitely be making videos and stuff on them when they do come in. But in the meantime, I've been playing a bunch of games and a bunch of video games, and I recently found out that it's very easy to stream directly from an Xbox. So I've been streaming. I streamed the last couple nights that I played. I've been playing a lot of Dead Space and Callisto Protocol. So I uploaded, I think I uploaded a video of those last night. You know, I know you guys probably don't care about games, but it's essentially, I play games every night on my free time, and all I have to do is press a button to stream it. So I mean, I might as well just record myself and just put the footage out there. Maybe someone will want to watch it. And if any of you guys like horror games, I'm actually going to be playing a lot of horror games coming up. You know, Dead Space. I already beat Dead Space on Impossible. I uploaded some hand cannon footage. Callisto Protocol had a hardcore mode patched in, so I've just started that. It's pretty hard, you know. Resident Evil 4 remake's coming out next month. I'll probably stream some of the original Resident Evil 4 before that comes out. Scorn came out. That's a very short game, so I could probably crush that in one stream. Evil Within, I've been meaning to play that again. That's another one of those horror games that was like too scary for me, you know. I never played 2, and I beat Evil Within 1 once, and I don't want to play it again. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, that's going to come out soon, you know. I'll definitely be playing that, I'm sure. And then I also like to play, you know, Halo, Master Chief Collection, mainly 1, 2, 3, Reach. Those are good games. I like to play those. You know, and I've been playing them for years, so I'm fairly good at them, you know. Doom Eternal, I fucking love that game. That's one of my favorite games ever made. High on Life is also a very good game. It's funny. It's a Justin Roiland game. And, you know, I was playing Modern Warfare 2 a little bit when it came out. I've kind of slowed down since all these horror games started coming out, but I may throw some of that in there. And then Deathloop is another game that I've been meaning to play, that I have, but I haven't played yet. So you could potentially expect streams for all of those in the near future. But I also am probably going to be streaming some keyboard content as well. I got to lube some switches. You know, I'm going to lube my boba switches. I figured I could probably do that on stream. That might be kind of fun. You know, I'll just be listening to music and we could talk about whatever. If there's still time after that, I might also try lubing some more Gateron inks. I have just regular inks that I only lube like 30 of them. And I have a bunch of dry ones still, so I could lube more of those. And then, you know, I could also lube the Halo switches and also the Glory Hole Pandas. The first time I ever lubed switches, it took like 6 hours. And then each time I've done it, I've managed to get it down lower. I think the last time I did it, when I did the inks, I did like 30 inks, though it took me like maybe 2 hours, maybe a little less than 2 hours. But I haven't done it in a while, so who knows? And I think I should still have enough Crytox left. I bought a very small amount of Crytox, but And, you know, like I said, one day my custom keyboard fucking Rama will arrive, and I'll probably stream the unboxing of that. I might stream myself building it. I don't know. I've never actually built a custom like that before, so I don't know how hard it's going to be. And it just might not be very entertaining to watch me just go, ooh, ooh. And then I have a GMK set that's coming, and that, you know, is pretty straightforward. So I'll probably stream the unboxing, and I'll put it on the Q1, or hey, maybe I'll put it on the Rama, but probably not. You know, there's currently no expected ship date for the Rama, which is just like highly offensive. But the keyboards are, quote, in production queue, whatever that means. The GMK set is scheduled for Q2 of this year, so hopefully that's, you know, April or May or whatever. And I actually live down the street from the vendor that is going to be distributing that GMK set in this region of the US, I think, in Southern California. So I live like right down the street, literally. It was kind of crazy. That's where I got my inks from. So I can do local pickup for that order. So as soon as they receive it, I can just go get it rather than them receiving it and then having to ship it to me and wait an additional week. But I mean, that's really what is taking these things so long is the designers / the vendors have to send the designs to the manufacturers. In Rama, it's some Chinese factory, and for GMK, it's the German factory, I think. Then, you know, you gotta send them the designs, wait for them to make the samples, then they ship the samples out to you. You have to approve the samples, or if you don't approve them, you have to send them back, and then with your revisions, then they have to repeat that process until you approve the fucking samples. And then they have to make thousands of them, and then they have to probably send samples of those 1,000 runs to make sure that they're actually being made properly. You know, I mean, maybe they do check each one individually. Probably for these high-end fucking keyboards, they do. And then they have to ship the product all the way back to the manufacturer. In Rama's case, that's from China to Australia, which takes forever. That's probably just a month right there. And then Rama has to organize all the parts into orders and then ship those out from Australia, in my case, to the US, which also that's like probably a month. So, and that's not even mentioning the Chinese New Year vacation that China takes like 2 weeks. The entire country shuts down. No, they don't like do weekends or like paid time off in China. You just like everybody gets 2 weeks off for New Year's one time a year, and that's it. So, but that means that all the factories that make these keyboard things shut down, and your group buys are delayed for 2, sometimes 3 or 4 weeks. You know, at least with the GMK set, I think that's made in Germany, so they don't have that 2-week break. Okay, I think that's everything I had to talk about. You can expect to see some streams. I'm probably gonna stream a little bit of maybe Dead Space or maybe Callisto. I'm almost done. Like I'm on like chapter 10 of 12 in the hand cannon run on Dead Space, so I might just finish that one up just to like kind of as a fun, you know, just like a novelty run. And then I'll do a serious run of Dead Space probably soon. Callisto, I'm doing hardcore. It's pretty hard, but it's not like so hard that I don't think I'll be able to complete it. So I will probably keep streaming those attempts, but I'll try to stream all the footage of that, so that way you can see the whole run if anyone wants to see that. The designation. If I call it a late night stream, that means I'm not going to be talking. But if it's not designated as late night, I'll be talking and, you know, giving my thoughts on the games and what I like and dislike about certain parts, and, you know, why I think certain things were developed, you know, why I think that fight happened in there, and what I like about this game versus that game. You know, Callisto and Dead Space are kind of intertwined, two souls intertwined, and it's definitely worth comparing those two games. You know, I think it's an interesting discussion. So, and you know, the reason that I'm trying to do gaming is not because I want to become a gaming channel, but it's just because, you know, I have a lot of interest in these games, and I kind of don't have any friends anymore. All my coworkers moved to Utah, and we all work remote now, and I don't have anyone to talk. And texting someone about all this stuff is not the same as just physically going mind to mouth on it. So, and my roommate, he's playing Dead Space, but like I've beaten Dead Space 3 times now. I'm about to beat it on a 4th, and he's just got to chapter 2. So I it's not fun to be playing a game. Someone's like, "Oh, you haven't been to this part yet." I'm sorry, bro. I thought you fucking play Dead Space. So in the meantime, I just kind of have been playing these games, and I've known to really, express my thoughts too. So I figured if some people like listening to me talk about keyboards, maybe you guys like listening to me talk about video games. Because if you think I know a lot about keyboards, whoo, let me tell you. All right, I think that's it for today, guys. I will see you very soon, probably. All right, thanks for watching.